Stratigraphy is the science that deals with the study of rock layers or successions and interpreting them in terms of generalized timescale. This science mostly involves the study of sedimentary rocks, but they may also include igneous rocks layers and metamorphic rocks, which are formed from sedimentary rocks. One of the major goals of stratigraphy is to break down series of rock strata into basic units that can be mapped. There are three types of stratigraphy. First, lithostratigraphy, dealing with compositions of rocks of uniform configuration and content, broadly speaking. Second, chronostratigraphy, dealing with rocks deposited during certain periods of geological phase. Third, biostratigraphy, dealing with units of rock formed by assemblages of certain fossils. Data collection has never been an easy task and never will be. Advancement in technology may have provided a little relief as compared to obsolete methods. Still, the task remains as exhaustive as ever. To top it all, if the geologists are trying to restructure a history that has a vast time span over which data has been missing, then the expected toil is beyond imagination. A lot also depends on conjecture and speculation. But over the years, geologists relentlessly looked for approaches that would help in the accumulation of data that would make restructuring history an easier task. Although the pursuit of such methods took time, but nevertheless they were found. Nowadays, due to blessings of science, we have available with us a number of methods that are credible as well as efficient and hence widely used and relied upon. Types of data collection approaches. Over the years, a number of data collection techniques have been used. While some were reliable, some were not. Even validating a technique as accurate or not is a Herculean task for any geologist. How can anyone understand or claim that the techniques is foolproof, findings precise, and conclusion of the approach is accurate? For all we know, even we don't have any background knowledge about what we are applying is necessary or not, and whether the expected result will be relevant at all to the actual result. Thus, after hundreds of years of trial and errors and observing consistency of outcomes of the same problems through various approaches, we have arrived at some solid methods of data collection. They are enlisted as follows. Stratigraphy is primarily mulled over in outcrops, assuming that they are available. Thus, contemplating and gathering information from the outcrops is one significant and immediate system. We examine the stratified rock and their correspondence in the same distinctive areas, regions. The resultant maps might be stratigraphic, example, thickness, and additionally geologic, example, structural. Not just this, rock crisp specimens from outcrops are likewise considered in laboratory subsequently to study the character or mineralogy of residues. Such study is at times termed as a final area of study. That is a definite petrophysical technique for gathering stratigraphic information. In addition to this, for geographical assessment purposes, sedimentary shakes in outcrops are additionally examined for fossils to date the rock. In synopsis, outcrop study is the first geographical event of stratigraphic record. It could be in one way called surface geography as a strategy for gathering information. Another immediate methodology is trench sampling, well cutting investigation. Boring and opening in earth to study the subsurface is the auxiliary alternative of information accumulation. The examining altered profundities is completed and the cuttings are examined for lithology, stratigraphy, and petrophysics, and so on and so forth. In the same space, you may additionally catch wind of core examination, the rock section of 1 to 50 feet cut and recouped from certain profundity. Core investigation is likewise an alternate asset of information gathering that falls in the same borehole study. Wide-line logs are circuitous methodologies of gathering geographical information. A few logs like spontaneous potential, SP, gamma ray GR, sonic thickness, and porosity are gained at obliged profundity to measure the physical properties. That is, then translated in a likewise manner to uncover the stratigraphic data. Think of it as denoting a bunk limit and connecting it between wells to brand it as a surface. Seismic reflection information gathering is currently the most famous system for uncovering subsurface stratigraphy. Arrangement stratigraphy, seismic geomorphology, and general stratigraphic standards are commentaries of deciphering seismic information. This technique has preferences of deciphering subsurface where outcrops are totally lost. For example, profound marine stratigraphic data might be effectively deciphered from great seismic securing. Satellite symbolism and GPS remote sensing are nowadays broadly used to study geomorphology and stratigraphy in remote zones. Thus, these above-mentioned calculative approaches helps in detecting the stratigraphy of an area or zone. Collecting objects and events. For years, the geologists have depended on two crucial approaches for the study of stratigraphic data. Collection of events and collection of data have gained huge popularity and are considered as the initial steps to run the observation of the study. A thorough understanding of birth of Earth and the history is very necessary for mankind to harness its powers for the betterment of its future. Having said this, the following are its applications. Firstly, the collection of events and data helps in lithological study of stratigraphic branch. Use in geological maps. One of the major requirements of this field of study is to be able to map the area and its history. These formations are usually mapped in taking scales of 1:1 lakh or 1:50,000. As a result, these formations tend to show the locations of famous rock beds. The lateral relationships and stratigraphic order of rock formations are shown in such maps placed at the side or in the foot. Every geological survey has its own scheme of things, but it has no particular set of rules. Use in time gaps. A bearing plane often shows a large gap in time when it is unknown what formations took place or mostly how long it took for depositions to give rise to various kinds of strata. Secondly, the collection of events and data boost in biostratigraphic study. Branch of stratigraphic data collection. Use of hydrocarbons exploration. Since this field deals with the study of physical features of Earth, it is extensively used to find out sites that might be rich in petroleum or natural gas. Thus, it is also used in such reserves exploration. Seismic exploration. As mentioned above, it is used in hydrocarbon exploration likewise. It is also used in identifying areas that may be prone to earthquakes by studying and detecting the plate tectonics. Thus, this field is also employed by disaster management departments. Used in environment. It is obvious that during the process of sedimentation and deposition, we also tend to come in contact with the kind of environment and its prevalent forces during that time which brought about the changes in landmass and caused layering and formation of these rock beds that we see today. The data collection, as the very name suggests, involves data which can be collected for the study of stratigraphic data. The geology of stratigraphy consists of several sub-branches. Therefore, to study minutely each branch, the data collection and the process plays an integral role. Over the years, many events in the earth have taken place, which has resulted in the extinction of various rocks. Even the existence of certain rocks and the preservation of rock strata of the areas and zones need the formal observation of the collection of geological events that have taken place. The reaction of the rock strata which is collected in the form of data after the observation of various events helps in the successful study of stratigraphic measurement. Locality and stratigraphic data collection methods and relationships. There are various relationships between stratigraphic data collection methods and locality. However, before that, one needs to know all the key terms involved in it. They are as follows. Collection of object. This represents a collected core or specimen and the object. They are related to the collected event in the form of ratio many:1. Collection of an event. This represents a group or a single person indulging in an action of collection. For example, acquiring a specimen or digging or looking for a core sample. A collection of an event is related to a locality and stratigraphy. Locality. This happens to represent the description of a place and or a reference of a place by giving the latitude and longitude of the place. Stratigraphy. This represents the physical features and is related to a geologic space and time period. Geologic time period. This represents any historic time period and its related start and end dates. The various kinds of relationship between locality, stratigraphy and data collection approaches are relationships around collecting event, collecting object, locality, geologic time period and stratigraphy. This information model is deficient to catch fundamental area information in some gathering situations. Case in point, it does not help the data connected with the core testing whether a gatherer might need to catch data, delimiting numerous discrete times of geographical time for one surface locality and collecting event. This model likewise ties lithostratigraphy to the chronostratigraphy, which is an improvement. The clash with this existing information model is with the cardinality of collection event to locality, which as we saw is a ratio of many:1. The clash emerges since a collecting event by definition can just have one locality. However, a solitary collecting event like a core can have two or more paleocontexts. In the next model, relationship between locality and paleocontext as many:1 is included on the grounds that by definition a locality can just have one paleocontext, a core cut, and paleocontext may have one or more localities in the database. That is, an accumulation may have different localities from the Cretaceous. Yet that does not work since the model does not suit various localities for a collecting event. Then the model is modified by changing the relationship between locality and collecting event to many:many ratio. This solves one anomaly but creates another, which renders the model unworkable. To remove that anomaly, the relationship between collecting event and collection object as a ratio of many:many requires collection object and collecting event to be joined as many:1. Paleocontext has credits that are novel to paleoaccumulations. It fuses the time measurement as a feature of its meaning of space. A paleolocality in the model of semantic is not essentially the X, Y organized on the surface of the earth where the example originated from. It is characterized by the topographical connection, which may be time-based or naturally based or geographically based, or some or those strata or even others. Marking that idea as paleocontext serves to disambiguate it from territory when considering paleocollecting events and localities and geographical sites. Paleocontext does not have any immediate association with locality in the model conventional meaning of a locality as a spot on earth where something was gathered. Paleocontext and locality are altogether two different things. In the event that we attempt to keep them falsely and specifically interfaced, real information model issues rise. Geologic time period, importance and uses. The geologic time scale (GTS) is an arrangement of ordered estimation that relates stratigraphy to time, and it's utilized by geologists, scientists, and other earth researchers to portray the timing and connections between occasions that have happened all around Earth's history. Proof from radiometric dating demonstrates that the Earth is something like 4.54 billion years of age. The geography or profound time of Earth's past has been sorted out into different units consistent with occasions which occurred in every period. Diverse compasses of time on the GTS are normally delimited by progressions in the synthesis of strata which compare to them, showing real land or paleontological occasions, for example, mass eradication. For instance, the limit between the Cretaceous period and the Paleogene period is characterized by the Cretaceous-Paleogene elimination occasion, which denoted the downfall of the dinosaurs and numerous different gatherings of life. More senior time compasses, which originate before the dependable fossil record, before the Proterozoic eon, are characterized unquestionably by the age. The geologic time scale has numerous uses. Some of them have been listed below. Most importantly, the system has helped us comprehend the concept and value of time. The geologic time scale gives an arrangement of sequential estimation relating stratigraphy to time that is utilized by geologists, scientists, and other earth researchers to portray the timing and connections between occasions that have happened throughout the historical backdrop of Earth. It helps in understanding the historical past of Earth. It has helped in providing an idea of the evolution of humans and Earth. It also provides information on the diversity in life forms through the fossil content. It gives an idea of the climatic conditions of the past through the study of the natural forces causing the rocks to form or break or sediment accumulation. It also provides knowledge on the emergence and extinction of various life forms. It also helped mankind in the understanding of the presence of other celestial bodies. Geological timescale has been planned for the revolution of account of the Earth or other heavenly planets. It is used to decode the age of rocks along with the evolution of life. Of the many timescales, the most used system is based on geologic time divisions, which divide time into eons, then eras, further into periods, and finally epochs. Each division is based on a precise set of geological and paleontological conditions that make it dissimilar from the other divisions, such as fluctuating rock types and fossils within the layers. Each geologic time map varies, depending on the most recent findings. Due to the whole system of the geological time scale, mankind has come to a long way in the road to understand our origin and carefully plan our future based on the historical findings. Data entry method. Data collection is one of the most important works of a geologist, but all the data collected will be of no use if it were not stored and entered correctly and safely. Without a proper data entry method, all that remains of the data collected is just a mass of confusion with no order or relevance to internal or external factors. Hence, choosing an efficient data entry method is of utmost importance to store data so that it would make sense. Following are some methods of data entry. First, a geologist's most fundamental employment is to record data about rocks together with their land area. This action is known as geographical mapping. Geographical mapping has customarily utilized record books and paper maps. In spite of the fact that this technique has served the science well, it has impediments. It is challenging to look paper records for particular data, while the information held is not promptly accessible for study. For any survey organization, information is a significant where because of the critical financing of staff, time and logistical help used to gather it. By making access to this information simpler, its esteem to the organization might be expanded. This is best attained by entering and saving information in an advanced database. By exploiting innovative headways under control-held machines, GPS and batteries, geologists have created an advanced mapping framework. The mapping framework immediately records GPS area data and permits an extensive variety of land information to be entered specifically into the database. There are a few points of interest while utilizing a computerized mapping framework. Greater productivity and correctness of mapping, automation of numerous information accumulation undertakings, increased information security because of the simplicity of moving down computerized records, a more extensive mixture of information is accessible for investigation and information looks, standardization of the class. Second, to work in any harsh and remote environment like Antarctica and the like, a digital mapping system must be lightweight, rugged, and should also have a low power consumption. Hence, the current system of choice is based on the following: a handheld computer or PDA, such as an IPAC HX4700, a receiver that has a standard 16-channel Bluetooth GPS, a weatherproof shielded case for PDA. Observations and data are entered using custom software written within the Geological Sciences Division, which operates within an industry standard mobile mapping program. Third, contour maps are used to handle and refine through a consistent iterative methodology to guide through any error and information modification. At every emphasis, maps were gathered at venture base camps and dispatched to part groups for assessment, together with table posting wells where correlated information are missing or where existing pics are detached as convincingly incorrect, to be physically confirmed and remedied. After the new information presented by the groups was fed into database, another era of maps was generated and evaluated. This procedure guaranteed progressive change in the nature of information and determined maps while safeguarding the consistency and similarity of maps from distinctive stratigraphic cuts. As has been mentioned above, a number of other data entry methods have been invented, validated, and put to use with the advancement of science and technology in the present day. Conclusion. Information gathering has never been a simple assignment and never will be. Progression in innovation may have given a little elevation as contrasted with outdated systems. Still, the undertaking stays as exhaustive as ever. To top everything, if a geologist is attempting to rebuild history that has an inconceivable time compass over which information has been missing, then the normal work is past creative energy. A great deal likewise relies upon guess and hypothesis. Through the years, geologists persistently searched for methodologies that might help in the gathering of data that might make rebuilding history a simpler undertaking. Despite the fact that the chase for such routines required significant investment, yet all things considered, they were found. These days, because of the gift of science, we have access to various systems that are valid and also effective and thus generally utilized and depended upon. As mentioned above, data collection methods like contour mapping, trench cutting, wireline logs, and well cutting have helped geologists in restructuring the history of Earth. An equally important task is the work of data entry, and for that too, methods have been discovered. Some of them have been discussed above, like geographical mapping, contour mapping, and digital mapping. Without the advances made in these fields, we would never have made much headway into the realms of Earth's history the way we have done in the present day. Although stratigraphy is of immense importance, it has been so just because of the support of the data collection and entry methodologies.